It's going to be a busy practice today. Oh, so good. So this is constructive rest posture. In the April newsletter, did a little explanation of the benefits of this posture. Just a few of them. There's a multitude of benefits. And as we rest here, we invite what was happening before we came onto the mat to release. If possible, to let go of forward thinking and arrive in this moment. Noticing the breath as it moves in and out of the body. And if breathing through the nose, notice the little space of skin between the nostrils and the upper lip. When we breathe in through the nose, we can feel the air moving across that part of our anatomy. And as we exhale, we can feel the air leaving the body. And we can really notice, if we tune in, how the temperature of the air changes from inhale to exhale. And then we bring our awareness to the unity that is our body. And as we breathe in, we perhaps feel an expansion taking place in the physical body. And as we exhale, notice the release. We're going to tune in to our waist and low back on the next inhale. Feel what happens there. And on the exhale, what happens now? Really allow the body to feel and fill fully with the next inhale. And the exhale. On the next inhale, notice the feet as they stand on the floor. And then the next inhale, notice what's happening with the head. Now let's do a little arch and flatten here, which will cooperate with what the breath does naturally. So we inhale, the low back arches and the chin comes toward the heart. And on the exhale, we flatten the waist and the chin gently tips away. So now we're going to arch and flatten following our breath. As we wake up our spine, noticing on the inhale how the front of the body lengthens, and on the exhale, how the front of the body between the rib cage and the pelvis begin to contract. So we're actually doing abdominal work here. Breathe in and out. And one more time through this cycle, the arching and the flattening. We're going to take our hands, interlace them behind the head. We're going to arch, and as we flatten, let's lift the left knee in toward the body, and the elbows come up toward the ceiling, and we curl toward the knee. Then we release. That's an inhale. The exhale, now we're doing arch and curl. We arch, and on the exhale, we're going to draw the knee up and in. We're flattening the back as we use the hands to lift the head toward the knee, and then we release. So when we're doing this, to avoid overstraining the neck, we're letting the head rest in the hands as we lift. And that lift begins with the elbows pointing toward the ceiling. And then when more of our back is engaged, the elbows come a little forward toward the knee. And then we release back down. So being able to allow the body, as we continue this, to feel full support, the flattening of the back, the head being lifted, and then the release on the inhale, can really help lengthen the back body. So think about this as we're lifting again. The front body contracts, the back body is lengthening. We're releasing. So while people focus, continue to arch and flatten and do this practice, as people focus on the abdominals, the real gift here is the lengthening of the back, which can really help alleviate chronic tension in the back body. We're going to do one more arch, flatten and lift. And then we come back to neutral. Release the hands. We're back in constructive rest. And now we notice perhaps a little more awareness in the back side of the body. Floating the arms out to T now. We're going to arch and flatten as we draw both knees up, and we're going to take them first to the right side. It's a slow movement to bring them toward the floor. They don't land all the way on the floor. You can always tuck a block, a bolster, or a blanket under the leg. Now check the left shoulder. Is the left shoulder off of the floor? A noticeable amount? Rest the hand on the rib cage. If the left shoulder just feels a little bit light, lift the right shoulder. That re-engages the left. And if now the left shoulder is resting on the floor, turn the head to look to the left. If the left shoulder's not on the floor, keep the eyes on the ceiling. This is a neck release. It can strain the neck though, if the shoulder is not connected to the floor. Then we're going to bring the head back to center first. I'm going to open the top leg, draw it across the body. I keep my knee bent, and now I'm rolling to the left side across the back edge of the pelvic bowl. Bringing the knees to the left side now. So again, check the right shoulder. If it's really high off the floor, rest a hand on the rib cage, keep the eyes on the ceiling. If it just feels a little bit light, lift the left shoulder to reset it, and then take that twist to look over the right hand. We're breathing here, feeling the stretch in the side body. We're going to do side body work today. So we're just really feeling the twist here in the belly and the rib cage. And now coming back to center, the first thing we're going to do is move the head. Then we're going to open that top leg. We're just going to bring it back to center. So as we draw this leg open, it automatically pulls the other leg up because it's the pelvis. It's all connected. Knees draw in. Circle the low back here. Then switch directions. And then let the feet come to the floor. Just let them drop. When we lift up and let our feet drop, that's showing us a perfect position for our body for constructive rest. So if the feet are too close to the pelvis, do that, draw the feet in and notice how it lights up the front and top of the thighs. Scoot the feet away and notice how the abdominals start to engage. So we're looking for that sweet spot. If we flatten our back and let the feet fall, that's pretty much our sweet spot in constructive rest. Now we're going to build our bridge. So with the bridge, the first thing is we're going to come to robot arms. So we're bending the arms at a 90-degree angle. We're tucking them in next to the rib cage. This really helps, especially if shoulders are wonky. This helps this posture be effective. We're going to walk our feet closer to our glutes. So now we've engaged the thighs. We're going to find the inner edges of the feet, and we're going to do our best to keep our knees parallel. They're going to want to fall together, but we're activating the inner muscles of the legs. We're going to press ourselves up. Use the elbows a little extra leverage here. Find the inner edge of each foot. Come on up, breathe here. Feel the front of the body expand and lengthen. We're breathing. And it's really highly recommended to not turn the head in bridge. That's really super hard on the neck. And now we're slowly going to come back to the floor, and we're going to imagine lowering each section of the spine slowly, slowly, slowly to the floor. When we arrive on the floor, we're going to press into the low back, draw both knees in, extend both legs to the sky. There could be soft knees. Float the arms overhead. And we're building a down dog. Notice the side body as we stretch. Notice the front of the abdominals as we stretch. And maybe as we're in this posture for a little while, it begins to become easier to extend the legs to the sky. Then we're going to bend the knees, release the hands down, float them up again, and then down. So the hands come down when the knees bend, And they go overhead when the feet extend, the legs extend. So we're in another flow here. And we've got our abdominals firing up. One more time. Draw the knees in, rock gently right and left. And then we're going to come over onto our bellies. So roll on over. Do a little back bending here. We're going to start in Sphinx. So in Sphynx Pose, the elbows are under the shoulders. I like to start with my head down. Feel the tops of the feet as they rest on the mat. And then I'm going to scoot my nose up and come on up, press into the pubic bone, press into the tops of the feet as we come into Sphinx. And then we're slowly going to lower, bring the forehead to the mat, slide the hands down next to the pelvis, palms down. We're going to keep the palms resting on the floor. We've got our forehead on the floor. We're going to draw the feet together, press into the top of the feet, press into the pubic bone and the hip points, then slide the nose up. We're coming into baby cobra. So we're in another back bend. Really engage the top of the feet. Press into the mat. Breathe here. And one more breath. And we lower to the mat. So when we're in this posture, when we're doing the cobra, we often notice the back side of the body really clearly because of the back bend. We're going to come into baby cobra again. This time we're going to notice what's happening in the front of the body, in the abdominal area. So connect with the tops of the feet, press there, press into the pubic bone, the hip points, come on up, sliding the nose up, lifting the head, press the hands into the mat, press the feet into the mat. And now notice what's happening in the front of the body. Breathe here. One more breath. And then we lower. Stack the hands. Rest the chin on the hands. Bend the knees and rock gently right and left. And the feet are going to come back to the mat. We're going to slide our hands underneath our shoulders. Let the head rest down. Connect with the tops of the feet. Press there. Press into the pubic bone, the hip points. Slide on up. We're coming into cobra. We're coming into a high cobra. If this doesn't feel good, pause at low cobra. You decide what's going to feel best. We're pausing here. And then we're going to just press ourselves back and come into a hands and knees posture with the knees under the hips and the hands just a little bit in front of the shoulders. We're going to build our sunbird now. We're going to start by extending the right leg. We've got the toes turned under. We're pressing the heel away. We're checking in. We're doing our best to keep the pelvis level. We're not tipping to open. We're keeping the pelvis level. We're going to lift that leg any amount. If this feels stable, the weight's going to stand on the right hand as we walk the left hand forward. And perhaps extending that arm, thumb to sky, so the palm's facing toward the body or toward the right hand. We're breathing here. We're going to feel this in the abdominals. This is a big abdominal workout. And then release the hand, release the foot, bend the knee. We're going to circle that right wrist. Shake it out. And now let's build the sunbird on the other side. We're going to extend the left leg. We're pressing through the heel of the left leg, really feeling a strong, strong, strong leg. On the next inhale, we're going to lift. We're going to pause and hold. And maybe we're going to walk the right hand out. The left hand's going to take more weight now. And if it feels good, the right hand can lift, thumb to sky. Active foot, active hands, constant breath awareness. One more breath. Hand returns, knee returns. Come on into your version of child's pose. So the hips are releasing toward the heel any amount. Maybe the hair is starting to run wild. We're going to come up onto hands and knees. Tuck the toes under. And then bend the right knee. Straighten the right leg, bend the left knee. We're walking the dog now, going right and left, and right and left. Then we're going to release the knees to the floor, come into child's pose. Pause in child's pose and collect yourself. We're going to pop back up onto hands and knees. Turn the toes under. Lift the sits bones, come into down dog. Let the head soften between the upper arms. And then shifting the weight to the left foot, let's lift the right leg. Three-legged dog. Right foot to floor, lift the left. Breathe. And then release that foot. We're going to walk the hands back toward the feet. We'll be in the bottom of a forward fold with bent knees. And we're going to float on up and come to mountain. Whew. I bet we're warmed up now. So why don't you join me? We're going to come into Goddess. I'm going to do a little flow here for with the side bend, with side bends. I'm going to get my hair corralled here. It's running just a little wild today. We're going to turn our feet out. We take a squat and our arms come to cactus. We're going to do a little rotation. Come back to center. A little rotation to the other side. Back to center. We're going to straighten the legs. Extend a 5-pointed star. We're going to take the left hand to the outside of the left leg. We're going to extend through the right side body. And we're looking for that rib cage stretch. Bring the feet parallel. If you didn't do that already, that really helps. And then we come back to center to 5-pointed star, and we take it to the other side. So the idea here is not to crunch down into the right side. We're just looking to expand the left. Let the hand float over the face. Pivot on the balls of the feet to come into Goddess. Find a rotation here. It's not very big. Center. Rotation to the other side. Center. Make the feet parallel. And now 5-pointed star. Much better. We're going to take the hand to the right as we extend and stretch the left side body. And then we come back to 5-pointed star. And now let's take it to the left and extend the right. One more breath, and then we're going to float that arm down. 5-pointed star, pivot on the ball mounds, heels come in, Goddess. Pivot, rotate, center, rotate, center, 5-pointed star. Step or hop the feet together. Come back to mountain. And one more breath. And we're going to step our feet wide again and come back to Goddess. We're going to be shifting the weight from one foot to the other here. So we take that little squat. I'm going to shift the weight first to the left leg, and we're going to bring the right foot over to the left. So the leg straightens, the arms come up, the leg scoots over. We're holding one wrist, and we're stretching into the right side body. This is Crescent Moon with Goddess. Feel that nice stretch in the side body. And then we're going to release this. We're going to come back to Goddess. And now we're switching to the other side. So we're going to shift the weight now To the right foot, the left foot comes over. We're going to be tipping. Ooh. Now to the right side. One more breath. And then we're coming back to Goddess. That's a lot of work. Breathe here. We've got that bend in the knees. And we're going to do this again. We're going to flow with this now. Breathe in, switch sides. Come back to center to Goddess. Switch sides. Come back to center, Goddess. I've noticed I've shortened my step here between in my Goddess. I've made it a little shorter, it's easier, but I still find that nice little bend in the knees. Going to the other side now. Nice balance work. One more time on each side. And center. Hands come to heart center. Step or hop the feet together. Bringing the hands to the waist now. We're going to step that right foot in front of the left, and we're going to begin to hinge toward the floor. And as we hinge, maybe the hands float down the legs. We'll notice a wobble probably. Keep the hands in contact with the legs. Maybe we find it all the way to the floor. Maybe we don't. It doesn't matter. Hinging back up. Separate the feet. And let's take that other foot across. So now the left foot's in front, the right foot's behind. We hinge forward. Any amount, begin to slide down the legs. So the hands are in contact with the body or the floor at all times. Maybe noticing that the stretch on one side is more deeply felt than on the other. Let the head go, let the head relax down, doesn't need to be looking around. And then we're slowly going to rise back up, hinging up. Feet step apart. We come back to mountain. Stepping to the top of the mat. Floating the arms up on an inhale. On the exhale, we fold, touch the floor, bend the knees as needed. Inhale to half lift. Exhale and fold, stepping back into downward facing dog. Now come into this posture and maybe notice if there's a little more availability in this posture now that we did our standing work. The sits bones lift a little higher to the sky. The space between the shoulder blades softens. The breath deepens. We feel strength in our arms. We feel strength in our legs. And we're going to slowly release to the floor and come onto our backs. We're back in our constructive rest posture. We're noticing our body as it rests on the floor. We feel the inhale. We notice the exhale. We do some arch and flattens now. Maybe noticing how clear this feels. Maybe we have more of a sense of this. Maybe there's more ease now. And bring this to a pause. On the inhale, we arch. On the exhale, we flatten, and we're going to draw that left leg in for a hug. On the inhale, we're going to open the leg to the left side, release the arm, the right arm to the right. On the next exhale, we're going to draw the leg across the body. The right hand comes to hold the outside of the leg, left arm releases. We're looking to the left while the leg goes right. We come back to center, hug, extend, and release. Pause here. Arch. Flatten and the right knee draws in. There's a nice hug here. Left hand releases and right leg opens. We're going to draw that right leg to the left side. Left hand supports the leg. Right hand releases and we turn to look to the right. Breathe here. And then back to center. Draw the knee in for a hug. Extend the leg. And release the foot to the mat. We're going to do a variation on that one more time. Breathe in, arch. Exhale, flatten. Draw the leg in for a hug. Open on an inhale. Cross the body on the exhale. And then take that left knee and drape it over the right. Head comes back to center. We're going to rock to the left. Let the head go to the left. Then we're going to rock a little bit to the right. Come back to center. Draw the knee in for a hug. Extend and release. Arch, flatten and draw the right leg in. Open to the right side, breathe here. Cross the body to the left. Let the legs connect now. Come back to center, draped knees. Rock to the right. Rock to the left. Rock to center. Knee draws in. Leg extends. And leg releases. We're back in constructive rest. I invite you to find a stretch here that might feel good. It's going to be unique to you, whatever that is like. Make it gentle. And then we come back to center and we find our way into Shavasana, our final resting posture. Whatever feels good for your body today. Legs long, knees bent. You decide, even rolling to your side or on to your belly. There's no wrong way to rest. Today's thought is from Maya Angelou. If you must look back, do so forgivingly. If you must look forward, do so prayerfully. However, the wisest thing you can do is be present. In the present, gratefully. And as we begin to deepen our breath, we feel the breath animating our anatomy. We feel the spine and the shoulders, the pelvis, the head, the feet, the hands resonating with each inhale and exhale. Gently making our way to seated. We open our arms wide. We gather all the blessings that already exist, and in appreciation and gratitude, draw them into our hearts. And together we all say, Namaste.